All right, welcome to Scotch Hour. This is Noah.
This is Brian.
And this is Jesse.
All right, so so we're going to try a new Scotch here, which is called Scarabus. Is that right?
That is right.
Okay, well, while you're pouring that, Brian, how was your week?
My week was good. I kind of the usual. Once you're on summer break as a teacher, you just kind of unwind, relax. I did work on my bike. I think that when I do retire from being a teacher, I think I might have a backup career in being a bike mechanic, because once again, they are like totally overbooked and you can't get into them. And I had to learn on my own how to bleed my brakes. And I did that and then got another. Sounds good.
Sounds way
Good
good.
looking
Smells better.
Oh, yeah, look at that label. Did you show?
I showed everyone. I was
Oh,
like,
did you get
this
everybody?
is
Nice.
dressed
Did you show
so
Brian
well.
the label?
I didn't get to see it. I heard about it. Looking good.
Ooh.
That's right.
You got to go, ooh.
She is dressed for prom.
Ah.
Actually, that's more like a wedding.
It is, it's a pretty nice looking label.
It is. And I'm really excited because for me, as you guys introduced me to Scotch, you guys had kind of introduced my palate into what I like is a peaty Scotch. Unfortunately, I found that most peaty Scotches are fairly pricey.
Peaty.
So
Yeah.
I'm very excited this was a low cost peaty Scotch that was introduced to us. So
All right, well, so basically we're working on...
working on the bike and also just preparing for my my trip out to Detroit with the family and all the different camping
nice.
spots and stuff. So we got that all squared away, and we know where we're staying, when we're staying there. I know that I got to do like three different 10-hour driving shifts towing a camper. So that I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, other than that, pretty laid back day,
Cool.
laid back week.
Jesse?
Oh, it was a great week. Took my kids to go see the early release of Fast and Furious 9.
That
It was
was
good
good.
entertainment. It was good entertainment.
Out of 5 stars, what are you gonna get?
Well, if you're talking about high quality, like great acting, probably like a 2.5. But you're talking about just pure entertainment, I'll give it about
It was
4.
great entertainment.
Plot line,
man. We
minimal.
don't want to ruin it.
Minimal.
Spoiler
Yeah,
alert.
They drive cars around really fast.
Really fast.
Just like F9, F8, F7.
They had some great. They did
Fs.
have some great cars in there, particularly the ones they were driving around Europe. The one that looked like a Pontiac GTO, but far was not. It looked like, and I'm sure was built from the ground up, rear engine Pontiac GTO, all aluminum. Let's face it, fast and beautiful.
Yes. So
That seems like you're right up your alley for movies. You love cars and
Love cars. And then so after that, and we had a great time at the show. Then the next day went to Elitch's, and it was actually a lot of fun. I haven't been there in like 2 decades.
Are you still able, not to tell anybody our age, are you still able to go on all the rides? And
Oh
not
yeah,
feel
at
like-
21, I can ride all of them.
At 20, that's incredible. It's incredible. So you're old enough to drink and ride the rides.
That's right.
and then puke on everybody because you drank because you rode on the ride.
No, man, I'm 21.
was
I don't
asking.
do that. No, I was
No,
totally
nobody
control.
throws up when they're 21.
No,
everyone
yeah,
knows how to handle their liquor.
Yeah, no, it was a blast, and did the annual pass with the premium meal pass. And honestly, at first I was like, man, is this ever going to pay for itself? And then doing the math after 2 visits, it has absolutely more than paid for itself. Actually, I drink so much during the day when I sweat and I'm outside, and it was a pretty warm day, that every one of those, I'm imagining, $5 refills of soda I had probably paid for the pass that day.
That's a lot of soda.
It was a lot of soda, but you got to get wound up. You need a little caffeine, roller coasters. It was a good time. It was great. It was just a fun time with my kids. And I know you guys know about fun times, and with your boys, it's no different. I literally haven't done that in 2 decades. And it was just, I guess I would phrase it as good, clean fun.
Awesome.
How about yourself,
Awesome.
Noah?
Well, as you mentioned, I did go see Fast and Furious with you and your kiddos. It was an entertaining movie. If you go in there not expecting a whole lot, you will be plenty entertained. Otherwise, maybe not. But like I wouldn't expect like a Oscar performing film or anything like that.
Is
but
it still is Vin Diesel still the main character?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so no Oscar awards coming out of this one.
No,
I
not at
actually
all.
thought the prime character was Jordana Brewster.
No, that's just in your little world.
I only know of like a Punky Brewster. Any relation?
No.
No.
That's
You wouldn't even know Punky Brewster since you're only 21.
Yeah.
That-
What are you
yeah,
talking about?
exactly. Any case, my week I just basically just worked and worked again because I taught all weekend, and on the weekend I taught again. So this is my back-to-back weekends of teaching in person. So basically, I just worked, and so that's it. So what do we got for you got Scarabus here on the docket, right? What do we
All
know?
right. First things first. This is a beautiful
I love
label.
the label.
This label is great.
The whole package looks nice.
The whole package does look
What's
nice.
what's the price point on this?
I believe it was 35.
Yeah,
Total wine and liquor?
$34.99.
$34.99.
It was a,
single malt Scotch.
A manager recommendation.
It was a manager recommendation. It has looks like it has a real cork,
That's a real cork.
and the packaging looks like it's a much more expensive Scotch.
It does.
It doesn't have a year date, does it? It's
No.
not
It did
a
not.
Scarabus, 7-year, 9-year.
No.
What I did like about it, and right as soon as you look at it, right on the front, it tells you it's Isla peat smoke and sea salt on the nose. It kind of gives you an
I
idea.
love
It gives you a
the
little
sea salt,
descriptor
by the way.
of what we're about to
I think
enjoy.
so when Brian was there and the manager said, "Hey, you should try this," and he's like, "I see Pete. I like Pete. We're gonna drink this.
I'm ready.
It's peaty."
Affordable
Petey.
peat.
He killed Petey.
Is that about it? Is that about right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it says it right. A lot of times it doesn't really have a descriptor on the package, but this had a descriptor.
Oh
so-
yeah, we got to swirl vigorously.
Swirl vigorously.
And remember, when you smell this, you got to close your mouth and breathe through your nose.
I'm so hoping this pans out.
I can tell
have
you all
high
right.
expectations.
It's definitely high peat. I don't know about the rest of
Let me
it.
see.
It's got a.
Have you already tasted it?
No.
Ooh.
But to me, it's got a mild gold flavor, gold color.
I would say it's a very weak,
Super
honey.
light.
Yeah, very light
Yeah,
honey.
weak honey. It's not no deep amber in this.
No, I would say like a flat beer color.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking Coors Light
Yeah,
when I looked at it, which
Yeah.
I
like a
we
flat Coors Light because
went
there's
to the Rockies game today and drank some flat Coors Light there. So yeah,
that's
definitely.
exactly what it looks like.
Did the Rockies win?
The Rockies did win.
Then maybe this will be
And
the win.
I mean, it was a good time. But
Hey, better yet, did they steal a base so we can go get a free beer over at Chicago's tomorrow?
I don't think they did.
Bummer.
But I saw that advertised. It said steal a base, steal a beer or something. And I was like,
Yeah,
really?
so every time they steal a base, you can get 1 pint or something like that over at Old Chicago's.
Anybody in the whole state, or if you went to the
Adulties.
game?
I don't know, I think anybody, because I get emails all the time saying, "Hey, Rocky stole a base. Come over here and get a free beer." I'm like, okay.
They did win 2-0. They hit a home run. But
That's
I don't think a base did get stolen.
All right. Well, I
Maybe
guess
after the
this
game,
is
they picked one
Scotch.
up and
Scotch
walked
hour. We should jump
Yeah,
into the
this is
Scotch.
Scotch hour.
I smell the smoke. Smoke on the nose.
I am enjoying the nose on this Scotch. This is pretty amazing so far.
Yeah, I can.
I get kind of like an oily wood with a hint of smoke, maybe a little bit of honeydew.
We're talking about Scotch, Noah.
What's wrong with oily?
I think you said oily wood.
Oily oak.
All right, here we go.
Oily
Let's jump
wood.
in.
Kind of lather.
You know,
that up.
initially when I did smell it, but I get what you're saying about the oily. But I felt like we're gonna like this, huh?
As far as the nose, you nailed it with oily wood. I'm serious. This is. I'm a huge oak fan, and absolutely get that.
It is. It's kind of oily, coats the mouth. You get that wood, or I should
peat.
say oak.
Relatively smooth. I'm not getting a lot of hot heat. off
The
of this.
peat is not as strong on the palate as it is the nose.
Agreed. 100%.
I do think the finish has a little bit more peat to it, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think up front you kind of get that oily oak, and then on the finish, that's where you're getting that peat. That's what I get, anyways.
The texture is unique. The oiliness of it.
Yeah, it really coats your mouth. I'm not sure I really like that oiliness, but
All right, more for me.
I'm not saying it's. I mean, for the price point, it's a very good price point for what you're getting out of this.
It reminds me of many adventures I've had to Total Wine when I know what I want and I go in there with my mindset and I listen to their advice and they nail it halfway.
And you come up wanting.
Yes, I'm left wanting. I was
You've been weighed, you're measured,
and
you
left
came
wanting. Yes.
No idea.
No idea.
One of the best lines ever
It's
from.
one of my top movies ever. It's like in my top 10
It's
movies.
like Office Space or something?
No,
or?
A Knight's Tale.
It is great.
A Knight's Tale, yeah, with Heath Ledger. Yeah, the texture is unique, but you don't get the peat is strong. It is more oaky, I think.
Like I said, it's I think it's more smoky oak with oiliness to it to coat the mouth and the front to mid palate. The back end or the finish, that's where I get the peat. But that's just me. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm hitting it different.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Still a pretty good Scotch.
I mean,
Isla.
for what you said, $35.
$35, not bad. But also on the nose, I'm getting the sea salt now.
That's what I'm
Once I've
tasting
had,
in the middle.
Yeah.
As soon as it transitions from that
No.
oily wood, I taste the sea salt, and I actually really like that.
Yeah, I'm really getting that pretty strong as I've taken a sip or two now.
However, if you're landlocked and you've never been to the ocean, you may not get the sea salt.
Maybe not. Have you been to the ocean?
Yes.
Okay, I thought maybe that was your excuse for like not getting the sea
No,
salt. You're
I'm
like,
just-
nope, I don't swim in the ocean. No sea salt
Yes,
for
I've
me.
been to Hawaii.
Edinburgh produces some amazing gins as well, and their gins some of them have an amazing sea salt palate nose.
Maybe we should do a gin special on Scotch Hour one of these times. I mean, we did do a Kentucky rye special.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I went home and in the following days I polished off a bottle of the Woodford Reserve. Needs ice with it. Needs a rock in it, but it was good.
That's something about this one. It's not like super hot or spicy or anything. You don't really need a cube to go with this one.
No, 46%
I think it's light enough.
alcohol.
How much?
46%.
It is. It's very smooth. But
Yeah,
I
it's very
think that's
light.
because of the texture we
Yeah.
talked about. I get more peat afterwards. The aftertaste,
Yep,
the
end.
peat lingers towards the end.
Agreed.
Not at the front. The front is the oily oak flavor. The nose is the sea salt.
Yeah, I do get the sea
wood.
salt now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What appetizer would you enjoy this Scotch with?
And a good Irish cheddar. I think you get the creaminess
The cheese. Yeah.
from the Irish cheddar. You might go pretty well with this.
I could do like an olive plate.
An olive plate might be good.
Yeah, olives.
I do like olives. Olives are good.
And or
Especially-
some what do you call that? The meat and cheese plates.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yes, we were.
This would go great with that, I think. This would really
Agreed.
would.
That is exactly the direction. That's a big appetizer, but that's the direction I would go in.
I'm going more like towards, I'm not going with like an Irish cheddar. I'm going more with like a Gouda.
I mean, you got your
That's
salt
smoked Gouda?
crackers. Oh yeah.
It would bring, it would bring out the smoke big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever, I love like smoked Gouda, but what I do with it is I make a grilled cheese sandwich. So I get like smoked Gouda and I get thinly sliced Granny Smith apples and bacon. And then you grill both sides.
Sounds really good, actually.
Oh, it's-
But you slide in apple in the.
So
Apple and pork
you
products, A+.
so you butter. Oops, there goes my water a little bit. But you
Your
butter.
fluoride.
It's actually fluoride free, dude. Fluoride free. We'll talk about fluoride here in a
Brian
moment. But
says
I would love to sample the fluoride-free water compared to the normal water.
well, you can.
At some
I haven't taken a drink out of this
I mean,
glass
you
yet.
just dump some in another glass.
That's fine. But anyways, the butter, you butter both sides of the bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you put the Gouda on, and then you the smoked Gouda, and you put bacon. And
The
you
bacon's been cooked at this point, right?
Yeah,
It's
of
not
course.
raw bacon.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you got to cook the bacon, and then
Gotcha.
you kind of cut it up and make it in like little bits, and then you get like, I don't know, probably about like maybe a centimeter thick of Granny Smith apples, and you put that in there, and you butter the other one, and you just toast both sides. And
A grilled cheese. I mean, it's hard to mess up a grilled cheese. I love grilled cheese, especially when you butter both sides of the bread and
apple and cheese is surprisingly amazing together. If you haven't tried it,
and you throw in like a good quality bacon to it.
Yeah.
So you get the sweetness.
Delicious. I think I'm going to give it a shot. I might have to, because Aaron and I switch off on dinners, and I might have to surprise the family and give it a shot. So I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, and if you don't you don't have to cut it like the bacon in like little small bits. You can actually just do strips of bacon, but you have to get decent bacon. You can't get like the cheapy bacon. You gotta get good bacon.
Oh, I usually get the cheapy. So I'll get some good, like the stuff that the Hormel you could it's pre-cooked. You can microwave it in like 10 seconds.
No. You gotta get like the nice bacon.
I got to get the oven the stove all dirty and greasy.
Applewood smoked 1/8 inch thick.
Yeah, or like the hickory smoked. You gotta get like the good thick bacon.
I had never actually had apple and cheese before. I had no idea that was a combination that went together. Aaron introduced me to that, and we don't film it and we don't produce it, but like we do the Scotch hour and we taste different scotches. Aaron and I will sit down and do a wine tasting.
Yes,
and we get 3 different bottles of wine, and we get a variety of cheeses from King Soopers. They got great cheese department up off of Arapahoe and Smoky Hill. And like apples and like nut thin crackers, and we kind of sample. We actually used to record it in like a journal, like what wines went well.
That's what you're supposed to do. Like when I used to work in the wine department, and selling wine and stuff, I tell people that you want to start a journal, and in the beginning when you start the journal, it'll always be like, "This tastes good."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, no, we would actually really try.
But then as you like start drinking more and more wines, you kind of put like what area it's from, kind of like then you're able to start tasting the nuances from each region.
We never got that far. It was still just kind of be like this wine goes well with this cheese and this cracker. That's kind of more.
Okay. So you when you do a journal like that, you want to get a little bit more in depth. Like, I mean, not saying what you did was wrong or anything, but if you want to go that far with like tasting wines, you want to try to get like the areas from the varietals that go into it, and then what you taste and then what you match it up with and stuff like that.
There wasn't too much depth in the $9.99 bottles we would usually try and get. But
no, we were having fun. That's what's important.
It was a good time. And yeah, I tell you what, as the night wore on, and we'd usually watch like a show or a movie or something, and after you're sitting there long enough and sampling different bottles, we were done for the night.
Oh yeah,
that was like our dinner.
Yep, and I can see. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like
you got your fruit for the day. It's healthy.
Yeah. So out there, if you're looking for something to do with your significant other, a cheap little wine tasting with some cheese, and
don't go my route, I guess.
You can also go deeper in journal, but also, So we've learned about that.
I kind of had to go deeper though because I was the wine buyer. So
that makes sense. And we do what eventually we found out is we started to just kind of know what we liked and what we didn't.
That's the whole purpose of doing a journal.
We knew what we found that, so we kind of abandoned the journal. I bet you I could still pull that journal. We still have it somewhere down in the basement.
That would almost be something that we should probably do is be journaling all these. We kind of have it journalized. It's like we have a video journal because we've been recording all these, but it would almost be cool. Like if we did once we do like the quarterly or year or semi-annual like cookbook where we put like the different scotches that we tried throughout those like 6 months or whatever. And do like slight tasting notes for each one of them in there.
I think that'd be a good idea. And
I jump in the hot tub time machine, just go back and fix it.
Just fix it, just redo it. I missed out on that
Chernobyl.
That's Arbeg 10.
You never had the Arbeg 10?
No, but I think I've heard it kind of goes along with like a Lagavulin 9. It's kind of a standard. If you're a
I'm not sure if you'll like it though.
It's pretty smoky.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The other thing I think we do need to do is we tend to gravitate towards our palate, which is the Isla region, and we need to be able to
go on a vacation. That's
what
we need to be able to do.
Isla, a favorite lowland, a favorite highland, Speyside, and kind of.
Honestly, I think
it would make sense to keep notes of even what we've tried.
I think when you start looking at some of our past episodes, I think highlands have come up. Like I think we started off thinking Isla is our favorite, but I think you start looking at stuff, you're like, oh, I like Highland. I like Highland.
I think there's two sides to that. I think that the Highlands and the Space side in particular have done very well for us, and we've enjoyed them. They've been very well balanced. However, on both the positive and negative notes, between Ardbeg and Lagavulin, for me, Isla is still where I gravitate to the greatness, but we're talking about bold, peaty, smoky typically, not always. And definitely some of those scotches that a lot of people do not enjoy at all.
Well, the one that I got on my own and was going to bring back and try it, but consume the entire thing while camping for the week was that Highland 12.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the time, you know, I kind of thought maybe a little smoky. But if you guys said the Ardbeg 10 was something you appreciated, maybe we need to revisit that because we didn't really do it on Scotch Hour.
Do a flight.
And that would be a Highland, obviously. But what was the Enigma a Highland? Is that?
That was, I believe it was
Island.
Yeah, so exactly. So we really need to kind of probably a little documentation. I think we should start a journal.
Yeah. I think if we were to do Ardbeg 10 again, since that was our very first episode, I know you weren't here for that. You hadn't joined the podcast yet. We were in negotiations with you at that point.
I needed time. Needed the open window, and summer provides lots of time.
And so what I think if we do that next time, what we could do, because like the Ardbeg 10 and then the Ardbeg, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but they're both like within like $3-4 of each other. That
it's Enola.
Enola or yeah.
I think it's Enola or Nola. I think
but I think we
should do a flight.
We should do a flight of those two.
Or bring in another one.
Or bring in what? do it
the
third.
Wee Beastie.
No, not the Wee Beastie. Not the Wee Beastie. The Wee Beastie was terrible, dude. Not that one. Maybe we do like one of the next step up.
Okay.
Because I think that was like $89-90. I think for that next third up.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Because I think we would love to be able to. We've obviously tasted the distinction between the different areas at different times, but if we were to have one of each, we would be able to compare and contrast right there. A space side compared to a lowland, compared to a highland, compared to a island.
We really
flavors would be dynamically different. It would be very easy to notice the difference.
But but then it would be easy to be, very distinct in what we're observing, what we're tasting, what we're smelling. It would be so distinct.
I think the problem there is trying to choose like which one we're going to pick from each area.
I want to take a step back. You brought up a great tangent. Noah revisited the Ardbeg 10. So Noah, why don't you talk about why the Ardbeg 10 is also very important for us at this moment?
Okay, so first of all, the Ardbeg 10, it was in our very first episode, which means a lot. It was also, Ardbeg 10 has traditionally been one of my favorites for the price point. I think it has a great flavor throughout. The smoke, I don't think it's overly smoky, but it might be, for those who are kind of novices, it might be a little bit too smoky. I think there's great peat to it. It has like me being more of a red wine drinker. I like the old world style coming out of France and Italy and stuff like that. And because of that, those red wines are aged in oak barrels, and they have like that old world style, which has like that mossy flavor. That's where you get kind of like the peat from, like you would in Scotch. And when I tasted Ardbeg, in my opinion, the Ardbeg 10. That reminded me a lot of like really good, solid red wines from France and Italy, and that carries that old world style to them. And so that's always been typically, when it comes to single malt scotches, like a go-to for mine, especially because the price point's like right around $56 to $60. I mean, I think when I first started drinking it was like 45, but over time it's kind of gotten up, and now it's like $56 to $60, right around there somewhere. And being that I know it's a Scotch that you like a lot as well.
I love it. Actually, it's in my top 10 currently. Lagavulin 16 still number 1 at the moment. Something could knock that guy off the top podium, but it's in the top 10. Absolutely, probably the top 5.
Right, and I know you weren't here for this, and I know you kind of like in the inside and like kind of like, thanks guys, you're talking about something I haven't tried yet.
But I'll have to either try it in a flight.
I got some downstairs.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Post show.
post show. But the main reason why we're bringing this up right now and why it's important to us is because we have a patron, our very first patron. We have different tiers, and this particular patron decided to do the $20 to $50 range area. And with that, because not only is she our first patron, we thought we would do a gift for her with the very first Scotch that we reviewed on Scotch Hour from episode 1. So, do you have?
All right, yes, Debbie, this one is for you. Made with pride by the Scotch Hour staff, the team.
And that came out absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it came out
sharp.
beautiful, right? I mean, it does. It has Arbig, it has the label, it has the back part of the box that it came in. Kind of gives you a little bit of a history or like a little bit of information about the region and stuff. About the Scotch. And then in the bottom here it says, from our first show to our first patron, cheers, Scotch Hour, and then it has all 3 of our signatures.
That's right.
So, and I know the very first patron is Debbie Meyer, which is my mom. So thank you, Mom. I appreciate the love and support that you've given us, and I think it's awesome. And anyone else out there who ends up becoming a patron, we haven't really set everything yet for our patrons, but we do
appreciate you.
Yeah, we totally appreciate you. I know Ben was our first caller, and he's going to get something. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a smaller version of this,
Not
or if we're going to do
this nice, Ben.
Yeah, it won't be this nice, Ben. But I'm not sure if it's going to be something like a smaller version of this, or if it'll be like a card made out of the label or something like that. But you'll get something cool, Ben. I promise you. But if you do become a patron and choose like the 20 and above section, at least the first 10 people, I like Jesse and I and Brian, we've kind of like briefly talked about this. We haven't really totally said everything on the patron side, but we definitely know like 20 and above, if you become one of those kind of patrons, you'll get something similar from one of our episodes.
Yeah, I think I would have my eye on that same type of thing for the Enigma. That might be.
I mentioned that. Oh, snap! I recall that.
Now there's a duel. You guys are fighting for it.
Now we're fighting for it.
Well, no, we don't get it. It's our next patron that delivers at the $20 to $50 level.
Noah's about ready to fork over some money. He's like, "This is mine."
Yeah, that looks good. Well, you could always get like a secondary model of it, but I think the initial one needs to go to the next patron.
This one has been signed. It will be dated. It is also numbered. Debbie, thank you so much for your support. This is number 1, so we will produce these for it's appreciation for those of you who enjoy our show, who show us. That you support us. We want to make sure we really truly appreciate. So this is an actual piece of our history. First label, first show, all of us.
First patron.
Yeah, first patron, big deal. And we'll go down the road. And honestly, patrons, if you're out there and you remember a certain show or you're signing up because of a certain show, let us know that, because right now the labels are all based on what we know of you, and this was for us the first for the first.
Exactly, and I think you made a good point. We are going to be numbering these, so they will be hopefully collector items once we get big. And on the back, which we haven't done yet because we just took the pictures today because we signed it today, but there are going to be pictures of us signing it, and then that will be on the back side of it. So thanks again, Debbie Meyer. We appreciate you being a patron of ours and supporting us in our podcast. So thanks.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. Oh, whoops. Cheers.
Gotcha.
Got me. Cool.
Which kind of reminds us, we probably need to keep plugging along on the request of the top Twilight Zones.
Yeah. Well.
It's coming. We got time.
Yeah, we got time.
But that's not the topic of tonight's show.
No, the topic of tonight, well, at least to start off with here, we're going to revisit, or I guess we're going to visit and talk about the Smarter Challenge. Smarter challenges. Which happens to be my smarter challenge that I picked. I know it's a little bit out there, but I think the reason why I picked it is because I wanted to talk a little bit about the pineal gland and how it gets calcified and a little bit about skeletal fluorosis. So the topic was about fluoride in the water and what it does and the history behind it. So you guys, I already know about it. So I already had my research done, and I sent you guys a bunch of stuff. So what did you guys discover on your own? What did you guys think?
I did just that. I decided to kind of deter away from your recommendations and just do research on my own because I wanted to not be influenced, by any bias whatsoever that you may have. And for me, it's pretty cut and dry based on what I read. Just when you kind of weigh the pros versus the cons and the benefits versus the dangers, at this point in time, based on the research I did, it really seemed like there's no longer there's not a need to put fluoride in our drinking water. Because even the benefit, and they did, it's a lot of it's approved by the dental industry and to help prevent cavities, and that's kind of the benefits you get. But they mentioned that when you digest the fluoride, you're not even really getting the maximum benefit. The maximum benefit is when you actually coat your teeth with fluoride,
exactly,
which we all do using toothpaste. So, I mean, I read a lengthy article, and I also did look at some of the stuff after I read my own initial research, I did look at some of the stuff you shared with me. And it really seems like, maybe in the past, back in the 1945s when it started, or in some third world countries that maybe don't have the dental industry that we do and the instruments and the toothpaste, maybe there is a necessary component to that. But with us, the dangers seem like, the skeletal fluorosis, it seemed to far outweigh those risks. You didn't get the benefit that you could get just from brushing your teeth. So again, with the Smarter Challenge, I'm excited to learn more from you guys, but it was interesting to me to learn about something I never really considered. I mean, I drink water from the tap, from the hose, all the time. And, but I also kind of went a little deeper and just started, thinking about what else they put in our water. I mean, there's chlorine in our water, there's fluoride. And I did have years back when Aaron and I first moved into our first house together, we had someone kind of just coming around door to door selling like filters, and they would show, they plug that, take your water and dump it through there and then pull out the filter, and you would see so many things that this filter would catch. I mean, almost like pieces of metal. I mean, it's just, there's so much that goes into our drinking water that we have no idea about. And my understanding, just with a limited amount of research, is the fluoride is not necessary at this point. That's what I got.
I think that's a great way to sum it up. For me, the impact was a little bit different. For me, it was more about the impact it has on some of the glands in the body, for what it does for the thyroid, for example, and the impact it has on so many people, and some of which are very close to me that I know have been impacted, not necessarily by fluoride, but with these conditions that can be caused by fluoride. And with that, the thyroid, as our viewers, how many people do you know who have had thyroid issues?
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Hyperthyroidism is a growing situation that many people are facing. And yes, they're great. Thanks for the pharmaceutical companies who are making millions off of it. There's a lot of different medications that help combat the negative side effects of that. But it's still a lifelong, in many ways, it's a lifelong condition that people face. And with that piece, from a science perspective, from a chemistry and physics perspective, but predominantly the chemistry and the impact on biology perspective, not necessary. Let's stop adding it to the water if we don't need it. If we want the fluoride, hey man, if it was that important, there'd be fluoride vitamins. We got iron vitamins.
Actually, I was talking to a friend today, And she, when growing up, she was on Medicaid. Her family was part of the very low income people, and they gave her, or like the Medicaid doctors were trying to give her fluoride tablets
for her teeth, which absolutely doesn't work that way. It doesn't make it that far. The chemistry and the biology will never get it digested.
So you have to ask.
Your teeth.
So you have to ask the question, right? Like from what Brian said about like the only way the fluoride really works is if we apply it to the teeth directly.
Yep.
And when we digest it, it doesn't work. And you're just saying it doesn't work right now too from the research that you did.
Yeah. From
so
the research
why
I did biologically.
So we would have
ingest
to.
it.
This this is where the tinfoil. I actually ordered us tinfoil hats because I was hoping they would be here for this discussion, so we could all flip on tinfoil hats.
No, we can make them. I got foil.
I did. Yeah,
Wow.
you can order.
I thought we'd have
That's
to
another
make
one of my
like
businesses.
aluminum foils
I
and
made
like
$30.
a funnel or something. Like
But in any case, they didn't show up in time. They're going to arrive here on Wednesday. But in any case, you would have to wonder, like, why are they telling people to take fluoride tablets? It just doesn't seem to make sense if you don't get any benefits from it.
you do. I mean, you do get some benefits, but ingesting fluoride does not provide the
Exactly.
Everything
It's
that
all
I read
topical.
about, the benefit is all about
The
teeth. It's all about your teeth. And if you want to, and the risk is when you swallow it, it doesn't even go to your teeth. It calcifies other ligaments and joints. And that was one of the things
That's what I'm saying. Like the tablet, why would someone tell them to take a tablet?
Yeah, and here's the thing, though. Here's the thing is one of the things you did share with me. I recall it specifically because it had like a map of the human body, and you might have fluoride toxicity if your joints ache, your bones ache, your muscles ache, and I'm like, I think I have this. I think I have toxicity because I wake up every morning and all my joints ache, but I think that just comes with age.
Okay,
Because
so
you're not 21 anymore, you're 25.
I know these things.
all right, so
happen.
you guys both talked about what you guys learned, right?
Yeah, lay it on us. No, what do you got for us?
Okay, so
go deep.
Go deep. All right, so I'm not sure how deep I'll go, but what we do know here is if you do start researching about fluoride in the water, there was something done in the early 1900s where somebody went to Colorado Springs and there was fluoride in the water, and they discovered that they had fluorosis of the teeth, where they had brown marks in the teeth and stuff like that, but they had no cavities. So from that particular study that this doctor or whoever it was saw from that, they determined fluoride was a way to prevent a person from getting cavities, and that's where that came in as far as the teeth goes. But if you start looking a little bit more and look into what they actually started putting into the water originally, which is sodium fluoride, that was used by the Soviets and the Germans. They put that into the water supply there for their concentration camps, which actually sodium fluoride, or the fluoride they put in the water, has been shown to lower the IQ of children, as well as make people docile.
How can fluoride lower someone's
There's a
IQ?
Harvard study. There's a Harvard study that came out that shows that the fluoride lowers the IQ by at least 7 points. And not only does it do that, when
I still got 193 to spare.
also when we look at the fluoride, you talked about calcification. It does, or you did.
Yeah.
And it does. There's one gland in the body. You're talking about glands, but there's one body that fluoride actually is attracted to in the body, and that's the pineal gland. Now, the pineal gland, it actually has a lot of the same structures as our eye does, like a lot of same cells and stuff like that. And when it gets calcified, it actually restrains the melatonin. I think it's the melatonins that get released in the brain, which creates what gets released during when we sleep.
Yeah,
and it allows also for DMT, which also creates the dream status in our minds. And a lot of people believe going back through history, even going as far back to the Egyptians, even longer than that, the pineal gland has been drawn as being like a pine cone. And a lot of people and historically, people believe that the pineal gland is what connects us to the universal consciousness or the God consciousness, if you will. And those who put fluoride in the water, if you believe in conspiracies, know that it will calcify the pineal gland, which creates thyroid issues. It creates to where people don't have very good sleep schedules anymore, so they suffer through insomnia, and they don't get the melatonin that they need or the DMT that they need. They can no longer connect to the consciousness, the universal consciousness anymore, and it can also create was it ADD?
ADHD, like
ADHD.
attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
Yep. Yeah. And then when we look at like the fluoride in the toothpaste and in the water, there's only like a certain amount the ppms, the parts per million, that is actually really truly supposed to be considered allowable. And if you really read the back of the toothpaste, it has a warning saying like if you swallow, do not swallow.
I read that a lot of the fluoride toxicity accounts of it occur primarily, or not primarily, but from children because they swallowed their bubblegum flavored toothpaste.
Delicious.
Yeah. And if you really look at it, it says to use a pea size, and it's not even a pea size. It's really like a half a pea size that you're supposed to put on your toothbrush. But when you look at television advertising,
they coat the
whole thing, right?
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, but that's Aquafresh, man. You gotta be fresh.
What was the one? Was it like 3 different colors? Was that Aquafresh?
Yeah, I think that's Aquafresh.
The blue, the
but
white,
even if you look at Crest puts like a whole line across and stuff like that. And it's not even supposed to be that. It's supposed to be like almost like a half a pea size or something.
And do you remember going to the dentist as a kid? I don't get this anymore, but you would get the fluoride tray.
Yeah.
The tray that you would keep
put
in your mouth of
like,
gel. It was fluoride gel. Now, I would like to ask you then, because you've done more, you put more thought behind this. In what I read about, they talked about how, and I was trying to find the date of the study that I read, but they had mentioned that like up to 4,000 plus doctors, dentists. It wasn't dentists. Dentists are all about fluoride. But there were medical professionals that said we need to do away with fluoride in the drinking water. So my question is, if there's no benefit, the benefit I could see is when you're talking third world country and they have no dental whatsoever.
Even there, I don't think there's a benefit.
You can't digest it to get a dental
benefit. I mean, it says you could. I mean, the study I saw said it improves it like at a 50 to 60%. That the people that didn't do it and the people who did. But they also talked about there's so many different variables. It didn't seem like it was a very controlled study to me. So, Noah, why is this in our drinking water? Do we want to go down this rabbit hole?
I don't know. Do you,
I'm gonna need another tinfoil hat.
we can't. Where's the hats? Did they come in yet?
No, they come in on Wednesday.
Man,
I'm disappointed in Amazon for that.
Yeah, we need one now. All right. Well, you know what?
I
myself a little bit more.
Do you want me to answer this question?
I'll just sit back.
Have you had enough to drink to listen to the answer?
Go for it.
Let me
hear what you got. What do you theorize is the rationale to putting this in our
I think if you start putting some dots together, right? Those who are in control of putting fluoride into the water, right? That's going to be people that are in power positions, governmental positions. If you are in a power position and you believe, and this is like going back and looking at the Council 300 book, that there's a PDF one on the CIA website that talks about how these elites believe the masses are useless eaters that use up all the resources and they want to kill us all. I mean, if we're talking conspiracy theories, okay?
But don't they also need people to be producers to produce?
They do need people to be producers, but they want civilization to be at 500 million or less. They do anything above that, it's they want to kill them off. And I can show you some other things that will kind of lead to this. That's the you can't hear it because it's not on.
Oh,
You're probably looking for this one. Nope, not that one. That one, the blue one. You were trying to hit the green one, which is like.
No, that didn't work. Sorry.
But it's the blue one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you need to color code these. Green should be like alien,
just write
conspiracy.
things
Well, you know what we need to do is we actually need to update it. But in any case, we need to update and put our own like sounds in there.
This, this reminds me of a movie. Hey, back to movies. Yeah, sorry.
Go Dom!
Which is what is it? It's The Kingsman.
I love that movie.
is it
Samuel L.
Morgan
Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson
Yeah,
with the
I knew
lisp,
it.
and he's trying to limit the world's population, and he has his
Well,
rules.
if you're talking about the Kingsman and you start researching 5G, then yeah, you will.
What kind of phone?
Well,
you got
here's
there,
actually here's what you want to do is like if you want to look at the Kingsman, look at conspiracy theories, you want to look at these, like what's been popping up recently is the Magneto like proteins and stuff like that. If you take 5G and the Magneto proteins and do research on that, they say that they can actually control or wipe out your brain and stuff like that using 5G with the 5G frequency with these Magneto proteins that go into your brain. But
Magneto.
Yeah, it's called like Magneto protein.
I'm thinking
X-Men.
Yeah. Well, you probably should be. I mean, I think that's where the name probably came from, but that's like when you like.
And he wears a tinfoil helmet, so
Yeah.
to speak, to protect.
Exactly. But if you talk,
It all makes sense now.
But like
We got
if
ours
you
coming.
if you
We're
go
gonna protect.
online, you go online, right, and you see some of these people who've gotten the vaccines, they talk about like, oh, they got the like magnets sticking to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like that. That's that Magneto protein. Not everyone's coming down with it, but it's only certain people that are.
I did see that. And believe what you want from mainstream media. Of course, we don't want to go there. I don't want to get you all revved up on that. But I did see the one lady that was made to look pretty crazy when she was like testifying. She's like, look, and she's trying to stick like spoons to her face, and nothing really happened. So it didn't kind of turn out.
But in any case,
Yeah. She didn't
Probably
look a
not.
little crazy. She
but I mean,
was crazy.
if you want to go down a conspiracy pathway and go down a rabbit hole talking about the Kingsman, that would be the one to go down.
It's a great movie, both of them.
Yeah, they both are. But
No?
I'm going to have to just disagree.
Which one?
I was very disappointed in the sequel.
most of the time, sequels are not as good as the first.
Yeah, it might be the thing. You went to the Fast and the Furious #9 with your expectations about here. Okay, after Kingsman, the first one, I was like, "This is the next James Bond. This is going to be so cool," and it just got too cheesy in the second one. Just too. I mean, she
Woody
runs
Harrelson
into the grinder.
Didn't fit well.
She,
yeah.
put stuff. And I was like, "Darn it, man! You guys kind of you really had a chance to grab
I
onto
mean,
the next big."
Oxford's not Brooks.
Yes, I mean, I
I
was
think
psyched, and
when
it
you-
just let me down.
When you think about her putting the guy into the meat grinder and making a burger out of it, that kind of correlates to how elites actually eat humans.
I was just back to. I remember this conversation with our vampire, where they would slice the
Well,
feet and drink the blood.
That's
from
drinking the blood of little kids, but they do
kids.
actually eat. Supposedly, there are elites who eat humans, and like there's like I forget where I did this research a while back, but there's this group of who actually have like there's a restaurant out of LA, and during every so often they'll have like people like fight like bears and stuff, and if they lose that battle against the bear, they'll take the leftover dead body and they'll cook up the glands.
And on
stuff
that
like
note, let's revisit the sky.
I actually, you know what? I was ready to kind of go back to that. I mean, I was ready
Thanks, guys.
I was ready to throw
Thanks.
down the ladder into the hole and let Noah climb on back out here with us.
we do talk about conspiracy theories here sometimes.
So in the change of glasses, the nose to me right now is actually less peaty, more smoky.
And see, I was just thinking, I'm getting more peat. Sincerely, when I brought it up,
I'm getting a lot of smoke, and I'm talking about the smoke I like.
it's not there. It is not an overbearing smoke,
No,
and that's what I fear.
It's light smoke with light peat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feared I was getting with the Highland 12. So maybe we do have to investigate that, because it was a gorgeous bottle.
Yeah,
it did look. And some of the higher level Scotch you can buy is from that Highland distillery. Is that what they would call it? A distillery? Highland Park 12. They produce some stuff like a 25-year. They produce some stuff that is up there. I mean, and obviously that's beyond our price point unless we get a lot more patrons.
I think we'll get more.
Yeah. But I mean, this is a good PD. I don't get too much smoke, and that was my fear with that.
I don't taste the smoke. I just have it on the nose at the front right now.
Okay, but now, if I mention to you again about the sea salt, do you smell it again?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I can still taste the sea salt.
This is. I'm gonna say that I could see. This is because my goal was looking for an affordable peaty Scotch, and most of the peaty ones tend to be a little bit pricier. For the price point, I would say right on to the manager
Don't drink
from
fluoride in your Scotch.
no fluoride. No, I do want to do the taste test between fluoride and non-fluoridated water.
I'm not sure.
As we kind of circle back around to that too, it does make me think about all of the stuff that is in our water. And the necessity of some of the stuff. I mean, otherwise we're drinking, Ebola. I mean, who knows what we're putting down.
More of the E. coli than Ebola.
This is
why you need a high quality filter for your water. And the one thing you can't, like most filters won't get out is the stuff that's in Roundup.
Pesticide or
it's a pesticide, but
I know what you're talking about.
I forget. It was in my top of my head.
That was the selling point years back. I mean, we're talking 20 years back when the person with the filter came to our door and we're like, yeah, we'll take that, because they did a little thing where they poured it through and they had the little filter piece and they took it and folded it out and like, look at all that stuff that you put in.
You guys
body.
just got to remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
You know what? There is some truth to that too, though. The human body does need certain bacterias. It needs these things. If we were all just cleansed, we wouldn't survive that way.
So, in any case, we are. No, I agree with you. I think I love. Obviously, this is my smart challenge. I love talking about this weird stuff. And you're asking if it was political, and I said no. It's kind of more of a conspiracy type thing.
And educational.
And educational.
I mean, it got me going, beyond fluoride into chlorine, and mostly because we've there's been some flooding in our neighborhood with all the rains we've been getting. So a lot of people have been calling in thinking there must be some type of water main break. And Aurora Water comes out, and they just test the water, and if they find chlorine in it, they say, okay, it's ours. If there's no chlorine, they're like, sorry, dude, that's groundwater. That's from the snow, and you're on your own.
So,
okay, so we need another smarter challenge, though.
Whose turn is it?
I feel like it's got to be Jesse's, because I did the decades of music.
And I did the serious, like, tinfoil hat one, so.
Yeah, we balance each other, the yin and the yang there.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, the smarter challenge this time around is Smarter Challenges.
Smarter Challenges.
Is actually to choose
a book?
Your favorite, not a book. That's
Okay.
normally where I would go, but
Normally he's having to read damn books.
I pick good movies, like Great Expectations. That's great.
I enjoyed that. No, I'm excited. I'm excited with
all right,
what you're going to throw at us.
So get ready for this. You have to pick, if you could have any three sponsors in the world, who are the three businesses, people, companies, sponsors you would choose to sponsor you? And they can be automobile manufacturers. They can be a liquor, Scotch. They can be a clothing producer. They can be anything out there. Anybody who would be a potential sponsor. A mother, a father, a sister, a brother. But anything, if you were to choose three sponsors, these are the people who you're like, hey.
Can we keep it to businesses, not like...
Yeah, you can absolutely
I say go
do
businesses, because we talked about this. Is a little bit like our brand. You know what I mean? So
that's just it.
We've got to take the next step and go with
bingo. That's exactly where this ultimately falls. Is if you were to choose 3 sponsors, each of us has to choose 3 sponsors to support. And this is where a business makes sense, and probably a brother or sister or mother, unless she's a millionaire, does not, is these are people we are looking to support our business. Who are people, who are my 3 sponsors? Who are your 3 sponsors? Who are Noah's 3 sponsors? Where we believe in these people, and why though? Because we don't want to be sponsored by someone that we don't believe in necessarily, because of the fact that that might bring, that's not us. That's not me. I don't want to be sponsored by somebody.
America, F yeah.
I'm just saying.
So down with my Honda Pilot then. You're not down with the old Honda Pilot.
No, you can choose Honda. Honda would be a phenomenal sponsor, and you can pick 100 reasons why Honda would be a great sponsor. You can believe in their company, everything they do.
Their
They
generators are very quiet.
Yeah, they also produce just amazing
Thinking
products
maybe.
across the board.
Not just automobiles.
Yeah, across the board, motorcycles. So, it could be Ferrari, Ducati, Honda, any number of businesses.
He looks at me.
Tin foil.
He looks at you. He goes Honda,
Reynolds.
Ferrari. He looks at me.
He's like
anything you want.
any
Ralph
type
Lauren.
of crazy stuff. that you
Ralph
come up with.
Lauren. Ralph Lauren. Noah and I the other day were looking at the
It's like
Any kind of crazy tinfoil hat stuff
Wait
you
a
want.
minute,
one of my sponsors would be Reynolds Wrap. no, Reynolds. They don't do. They do
Reynolds
they do
Corporation.
The cellophane. They don't do the tinfoil?
But seriously,
I think they do.
here's an example. Noah and I the other evening, we were sitting down, we were doing the whole build your own car thing, right? We were looking at different websites, and a couple of the vehicles in question were, by the way, both of them gorgeous vehicles, a Ford Raptor and a brand new Chevy Corvette. And the
Chevy Corvette actually wins out on price.
Dude, not just price, but when you use the app, when you use their website, super user-friendly and great. We tried to use the Ford website, and
That
we're
was
like,
a pain in the butt. You can't get past the second
wait a minute, I don't want to give my personal information. I'm just looking for a ballpark here because we want to have fun and talk about this.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
That could be a future smarter challenge.
Ultimately,
I've got to come up with my smarter challenge voice.
Okay.
You guys
Smarter challenges.
I'm not going to throw it out there yet, but I'm going to practice at home in front of the mirror and see.
Like, I don't think we never practiced it. I just came up with smarter challenges.
If I could have the perfect voice, it'd be that little guy. Remember?
That's where I have the benefit is, you guys have already done those. You've thrown it out there. You've got yours. I have the benefit of saying I have time to work on mine.
I'm just going to say, man, if I could have any voice, if I could do the little sweet going back in the washing machine, the little Diet Dr. Pepper guy. Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man, that would be my voice.
I'm like, good, that's not mine. Dude. I was thinking, as you were doing it, I was going more like Bee Gees. Okay, I'm down with Bee Gees.
What's his name?
Bee Gees are
Who's that?
amazing.
Who's like that older actor, Sam something other. He's like usually did like.
He does meat, steak, what's for dinner.
Yeah, steak. What's for dinner? Like, if I could have a voice, that'd be like the kind of voice I would.
Or
What about the White
James
Berry?
Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones, dude. Darth Vader voice.
Smarter challenge.
I'm your father.
Challenge. I am smarter.
I am your father, Luke.
Sam. Darn it.
It's Sam something other.
It is. Well, now that you've got Sam stuck on my brain.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe his name's Sam. I have no idea.
All right. Smarter challenge.
Sorry.
3 sponsors.
3 sponsors.
3
Who
sponsors.
you would choose to sponsor yourself and or our company, and why?
Dude, I've already.
Oh, wait. Is it ourselves or our company too?
So ultimately, you are a representative of our company. So ultimately, it's both.
Okay. I guess.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm not hiding the fact that you wear tinfoil hats all day.
I'm not hiding the fact that I wear tinfoil hats.
He
either.
does not wear tinfoil hats all day, by the way, guys. But why am I always out of foil? I just wanted to grill some ribs.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Okay.
Steak. It's what's for dinner.
Sam Elliott. But he has a good deep voice. Like
Sam Elliott's. He's gruff.
Yeah, I like
What
that.
about Lil Wayne? That's another good voice.
No.
Lil Wayne.
No, like that deep gruff voice. That just reminds. That seems like Americana to me.
Oh, that's why they. Oh, you know who else kind of pulls off his own voice is does pretty well with the Americana. They're trying to is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, dude. He does.
With
I
his-
agree. I agree 100%.
think yes and no, but he kind of comes off a little bit more sleazy though.
Okay, you know what? Yeah,
That's
I'm
because
with
you
I'm
watch
with
Dazed and Confused and you cannot get it out of the back of your mind.
Yeah, well, when you
That
talk about like,
movie
you know what I
is-
like about high school girls? What? The older I get, they stay the same age. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I know.
That's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's
I'll tell you what changed my perspective on him is True Detective. After True Detective season 1, I thought of the guy in a whole new light. I really did.
Did you ever watch my podcast? The one that my very first.
Yeah,
Like
but
one
we're going to leave that out of this. I don't need to talk about how historically there's so much that's true in there. We're just looking at the fact that his voice, I was able to let go of Dazed and Confused when I saw True Detective.
I will admit, True Detective is a good series, but like there is
There's a
some
lot of truth in it.
there was
a
a
lot
movie
of truth.
with him in it that, and we probably need to kind of close up things here in a little bit.
Yeah, we probably do.
I cannot remember that Frailty.
Oh, Frailty was way good.
Frailty.
With him and Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton played his
Yes.
dad.
Yes. Have you seen that movie? I stumbled across it on Amazon.
You get past his whole, like, what was it, Gold Rush, Gold Digger, Gold Girl. He was
Oh, with
Gold-
Kate Hudson.
Yeah, Kate Hudson. You
I
get
never
past
seen that
that,
movie.
and you get him into True Detective, and anything you watch after that is a whole new perspective. He is a phenomenal person. He is a phenomenal actor. He actually has a lot of depth. You should read Green Lights. It's a future smarter challenge. I'm giving you the heads up, Noah, because they don't have a book, a book version of it yet.
Do they have audio?
How long is the book,
probably do.
though?
It's a quick read.
Okay, that's a good.
Well, you go. It gets a quick read. He gives
But if
got
you
my
assign,
copies, it's a
a
quick
book,
read.
we have basically a week to read a book.
Yeah.
You've
But
got
not even,
weeks
like-
because you got another cycle before we might get
No,
there.
not
and
even
then there
like
might be something else.
Like seriously, like you have a
You
week.
could honestly read it in 8 hours.
Yeah, I got all day. I can just open it. I could read for 8 hours.
I got work and other
You
stuff.
can
and,
take
like,
breaks, drink scotch, and still finish this book if you're a fast reader in 8 hours.
I am a slow reader.
Okay, so 16
I
hours.
read,
But
but yeah.
no, it's like great. He goes through here and he talks about a lot of his life experiences. And ultimately, you'll see when you read it, at some point, the whole green light quote, if you will, or perspective, the title of the book, Green Lights. And it's really about his journey. And it's no different than anybody if you are intelligent in the sense that you learn from both wins and opportunities, from victories and mistakes. And he does a great job of that in life. I think he's probably, honestly, one of the happiest, most fulfilled people on this planet, because you read this book and it's like, man, this guy wants to be who he is every day. And there's a reason for that.
I will
it's
say
great.
this about Matthew McConaughey. I do think he is a good actor. I like a lot of the
Yeah.
movies that he is in. I liked him in Contact.
He was amazing in Contact, actually. But I had a okay. What's the other one? The other space one that he's in?
I've got all his movies pulled up here. Give me just one second.
The one where Interstellar. So
I haven't seen that yet.
After True Detective, you watch Interstellar.
The Gentleman, though.
Mind
he's a
blown.
great-
The Gentleman is another one. But in Interstellar, I literally, I'm not afraid to say it. My kids make fun of me. You were there. They're like, yeah, my dad cries at movies. I literally cried. And this movie.
I'm not sure if they like really mind. I think they're okay with you crying. I think what they're worried about is like, dude, my dad laughs really loud at horror movies.
No, but Interstellar, it absolutely, and in a positive way, and also a very compelling way, it haunted me after I watched it, because it really talked about so much about many things you could see from ancient alien shows or different things, and what is life, what is energy. And to those of you guys,
we gotta talk about ancient aliens.
yeah. To those of you guys out there, my friends that recommended this movie, Matt, I can only say thank you, because to this day, it's still a movie where I think about it, and really the connection is, and when you guys, if you watch the movie, you will see, it's this connection when you have kids or
I have no
loved
kids.
ones, but you have loved ones.
Okay.
When you have kids or loved ones and you see this connection, it will have, it literally to this
This
day,
is
I saw this
Interstellar.
18 months ago,
Have
and
you
to
seen
this
it?
day,
I've not seen it.
Neither have I.
it is, man, it's a powerful movie.
Okay. That being said, we are now at our 1 hour mark. So I guess you start off the closes. So
All right. Well, again,
from Interstellar to close.
That's right. Thank you for joining us in Scotch Hour, the Smarter Challenge. You guys are welcome to join us. Think about it and compare yourselves at home. But for us, it is to pick 3 sponsors we would choose for ourselves, which ultimately is really for our company as well. But ourselves, both as part of a group, a podcast.
I already got some ideas. I'm going to jump
I'm sure you do. And I'm sure you both do. I know Noah does, and I know I do. But who would you choose and why? And there are so many different companies out
All
there.
tinfoil hat companies.
There you go, man.
It's joking.
He's like, Amazon, check.
That's not a tinfoil hat company, to tell you.
I mean, they
truth.
sold you your tinfoil hats,
They
bro.
sold me my tinfoil hat
and delivered them late.
and delivered them late. Them
They don't
bastards.
support you. So with that, though, thank you guys for joining us for another Scotch Hour. Brian is the selector of this, I would
Scarabus.
say, really good, especially for the
Scarabus.
price, Scotch.
It's a spell that I learned from Harry Potter. It's when you're looking for an affordable Scotch. Scarabus. And I agree. This is
And poof.
I think this will find its way onto my not Scotch shelf, but essentially I've got a little Scotch shelf going right now. To be honest with you,
Not my Scotch. Oh, I do have a
Yeah, it's
Scotch.
pretty much a
shelf.
Scotch shelf. Yeah, I think it price point wise, it is good. It's not gonna move too far up the ladder. But when you're talking about an affordable peaty Scotch, that's exactly what
If
you're gonna
nothing
get.
else, it's a sexy label.
It's a good looking label.
Yeah,
good
it's a
looking
good-
package.
Yeah. But with that, thank you guys. Debbie, thank you. This thank you will be on its way to you very shortly. Really appreciate all of our viewers, subscribers, supporters. And Brian, I pass it on to you.
Oh boy! In closing, I enjoy the Smarter Challenge every week, and I enjoy you guys pushing me beyond my sometimes kind of just lowbrow, version of myself. I'm a pretty simple man, and you guys push me to think about, what's in our water. Sponsors. I started writing some down, and I'm like, wait a second. The more I think about it, I'm going to cross that one off. So
It's actually
it is,
tricky
yeah,
because
but
they have
you
pros and
think, I'm
cons
like,
to every
ooh,
one.
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about that. And I do enjoy that we stumbled across, like I said, an affordable Scotch that is peaty. But I would probably spend just a little bit more money and get like a Lagavulin.
Oh man, the Lagavulin 9 is divine.
That's really darn good.
It's
but
robust.
it's starting to get hard to find. But I want to try the Ardbeg, which as soon as Noah does his closing, I think we'll jump in.
Okay.
We're going to go to the
Are you passing
Scotch
it?
vault
I'm passing
downstairs.
it. On to
Oh,
you,
okay.
Noah.
So thanks again for everyone who watches our podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. Hopefully you do hit that subscribe button. You share, our podcast. Please share it with everybody. It does help spread the word. And honestly, I think like a week ago we had 16 subscribers. Now we're up to 18 subscribers. So we are growing slowly, and we appreciate every single one of you. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Video-wise, we are on YouTube and Rumble. Audio-wise, we are on Amazon Music, Podbean, Audible Podcast, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. We are on iTunes internationally. I still can't get it fixed to be in the U.S., but I think that might be a lost cause at this point.
All right.
The last thing I have to say is please, we ask you to be a patron if you do like our show. We do have membership levels starting as low as $1. There is no obligation, so you could be a patron for 1 month, 2 months, a year, multiple years. But we do ask that if you do like our show, please show your support through that, and we will use that to improve the quality of our equipment, rent out movie theaters, do things with our patrons, whether when we go on the road to like Vegas. I think that's going to be I think Vegas is going to be our very first big road trip to go do the Mafia Museum. Is
That
that correct?
sounds
Mob Museum.
great.
Mob
I'm
Museum.
psyched
It's
about
awesome.
that.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
So if we do that, not if, but when we do that, if we have enough patrons that help us, we can set up like a discount if we can get enough people to go with us and stuff like that, and do a whole Scotch hour there live in Vegas with our fans. We have some local events that we're looking at doing, which is like renting out a movie theater for Top Gun 2. We're talking about the Stanley Hotel. That's been in the mentions. We've also mentioned the Molly Brown Mansion. So please, if you do like our show, like I said, please become a patron of ours, and that's what that money is going to go towards. And then with that, I just say cheers, thank you, good night, we love you, and have a great week.
I have one more closing.
Yes.
This is Scotch Hour.
This is
And
Scotch
what I would
is Scotch
love
Hour.
from our viewers is some recommendations on Scotch.
Oh, yes.
You never know
definitely.
when they're going to be a hit, and this was recommended to us, and I would say it met the level.
It
So,
did, yeah.
as a viewer of Scotch Hour, I would love the patron would be a great idea, but just jot down a Scotch recommendation, and we will absolutely try it.
And if you do, we will give you the opportunity for us to call you and for you to be on Scotch Hour with us like we did with Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't go recommending the Highland Park 30-year or something. That's a little bit beyond our price points.
Unless you can send us a
Unless you're going to send us a bottle.
Yeah.
But
then please recommend it.
All right, with that, are we good?
Scotch Hour.
All right,
Scotch Hour!
Cheers. Oops, that was my water.
Fluoride
Still
free.
good. Fluoride free. We hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Scotch Hour. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have not done so already, please become a patron member, with memberships starting as low as $1 a month. Thank you, and hopefully you have a wonderful evening.